Joining us now, 2024 Democratic presidential candidate Marianne Williamson. Thanks so much for waking up with us this morning. Marianne, do you see an opening here to make some noise in New Hampshire?
Well, that will depend on the vote made by New Hampshire voters tomorrow. You gave us a little history lesson here that I think was great for people to know. New Hampshire voters made it clear to Lyndon Johnson last time that when he was running in 1968, that they did have other choices. They saw that, and they wanted those other choices. So, ultimately, it's democracy that rules here. It's the voters that rule. At the end of the day, it's what voters have to say in the New Hampshire primary that determines the trajectory of the entire season. That was true in 1968, and it's true today.
Yeah, it was true in 1952 as well, when Harry Truman did something very similar. Again, it was March. It always seems to be the month of March when candidates drop out. LBJ, March 68, Harry Truman, March 1952. Marianne, if you were able to speak with Joe Biden for, let's say, 60 seconds, what would you want to say to the president?
I would tell him that with all due respect that you should be ashamed of yourself, sir, because the way that you and your administration and the DNC has suppressed other candidates, opposing candidates in this primary season has been undemocratic and should not happen. And Dean Phillips, myself, and others, when you have Democratic voters, 70% of whom have said they'd like to hear from other candidates, we should have had the right. And hopefully the Democratic voters and other independent voters, it's an open primary here, will see through that and will make their own voices heard tomorrow, and will not be just parroting the narratives of the DNC.
From what you've seen already and what you've heard from voters, especially in New Hampshire, do you see Joe Biden as dropping out of this race?
I don't know. What Joe Biden does will be whatever Joe Biden decides. I can't see inside his mind. I do hope that the voters of New Hampshire will make it clear tomorrow, however, that they're not going to be dictated to by a political party. They're not going to be, between the shenanigans that go on with ballots, with states throwing people off ballots, with what happens on social media, with the profound amount of money that goes into people able to afford everything from the TV ads. If the average American really understood. I think people know, but when you're in the middle of the belly of the beast, you really know how the system is designed and the control that the political elite have, the control that money has. It really, it tries to sort of push to the side the will of the people. And there's a wonderful opportunity here in New Hampshire tomorrow for the people to express themselves and to come forward and to make it clear that it's there. Thomas Jefferson said that the only safe repository for power in the United States is in the hands of the people. And that's what gets lost in this horse race.
Yeah.
Do you think should be the path that America takes over the next 4 years? That should be the conversation. And
Marianne, let me just ask you, we've just got about 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, Dean Phillips has he's tiptoed around this issue. I think Robert Kennedy Jr. has done a little more to sort of talk about Joe Biden's cognitive decline and whether or not he's really fit and capable of serving our country for another 4 years as president. Where are you on this?
The American voter should make that decision for themselves.
I know, but you're running for president against an incumbent from your own party. Where are you on Joe Biden's cognitive fitness? Do you think this guy's prepared and physically fit and well enough to run this country until he's 86 years old?
I think all of us are looking at that issue. Also, Americans are asking themselves what they think about Kamala Harris, because given the president's age, it's reasonable to assume the possibility that his vice president will take over. So I think the relative unpopularity of Kamala Harris should be part of what everybody's figuring into their calculations as well.
Yeah, see, I feel like you're tiptoeing around that answer, and I don't know why. You're going to be on the ballot tomorrow. You got a chance of winning in New Hampshire.
I feel that it's unkind. I
get that it's unkind, but our country's bigger than that. If somebody's not fit to run the country, maybe they shouldn't be running the country. And I don't know why everyone's so afraid to talk about this issue.
Donald Trump is, 2 years younger? Everybody can see. You say we don't want to. No, I think a presidential candidate, as well as a president, expresses their values with what they say and don't say. You say I'm tiptoeing around it. I feel I'm being a woman who is not going below the belt like that. That's what I think.
Okay. We'll see how it serves you tomorrow in New Hampshire. Marianne Williamson, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Very much.